Alright, welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This is one I've been recommended a couple times basically for this one, and also because basically I met the voice actor for this one early this year. Well, the one who voices the female lead of the show. This is My Dress Up Darling. This is also my 47th series I've checked out this year. Yes, 47. Our main character, Gojo, who lives with his grandfather. We started a flashback of his where his grandfather, oh, you like my Hina dolls? And then we see a friend of his who just insults him for liking Hina dolls because, well. And then we jump at the present day where the grandfather's like any friends, and he's like, oh, I got lots of friends, like, lie. And he goes to school and just relaxes. He hears stuff about anime, but he's just not interested at all. Also, you see the previous night, basically working on this is his working the face of the Hina doll. So, and then all of a sudden we see this tall, beautiful girl just fly across the classroom and bops her head on his desk. He apparently does notice also when she gets, oh, you got some ink on your arm. It's like he's very nervous because it's a pretty girl. Guys basically would do this if they come across a pretty girl like this. Her name is Maron. Yep, her name is Maron. Now, our main character is Wana Gojo. He's voiced by Paul Daleth. Now, Maron Kagawa, that's her name. She's a guru, and she's voiced by Amanda Lee. Yeah, she's the one basically who I met earlier this year. Of course, this is made by the famous Cloverworks studio, which I believe this is also the same studio that works on Spy X Family. And shows basically I've seen from them are the following. Persona 5 Animation. I have seen this one, I've not reviewed it, but I have seen it. Ace started Season 2. Fairy Tail Season 9. The last season of the show, they co-produced it with A1 Pictures. There is also Spy X Family, obviously. Black Butler, the public school arc. I May Be Ghost Scepter's Buck, so I lost the clock on time. Let's see. And that's it. Only about 7. Yeah, and of course, basically soon, of course, they just start airing Season 3 of Spy X Family. Yep, so we're in good hands here with a really good studio. So, of course, he knows who she is, and basically is like, it's like okay, and then later on, the next day, actually later on that day, he's thinking about her, and he cuts his finger on not scissors. Then all of a sudden he tried to use the sewing machine. It stopped working. It's one of these older sewing machines where it's like a pedal. Basically, my family used to have one of these ones. So his grandpa's like, well, time for a new one. And then the very next day, where he's at school and he's working on sewing, and then all of a sudden he looks at his Hina doll and comments how pretty she is. And then Maron comes in, and of course, thinking is flying catching. Of course, he thinks that she's going to insult him for liking Hina dolls, but apparently she likes the Hina doll. But this is one he didn't make; his grandpa made it. And apparently, he's good. When he tells her during the course of this conversation, oh, he's good at making clothes. Like, ooh, perfect. I like my clothes for cosplay. Yep, Maron's a cosplayer, believe it or not, and she wants to dress up as this is one character, which of course Bobby tells her, and of course this particular character, one of her favorite series, but he looks at it, I was like, man, this used some work. So basically, it's like, get the material, and then the next day, she comes by his house. He, of course, is very nervous about this, but she basically bought him cheesecake. I'm not the biggest fan of cheesecake at all. So, like, actually, I've tried it. I just don't like it. I don't like taste. So then, of course, she sneaks by him, goes to his room, like, oh, this is basically a Gojo room. Sees his futon, like, right. Apparently his computer's on the floor of his room. I would have thought, though, that he would have a desk Now, I've never seen it in an anime where a desktop computer is on a floor like this. Because normally these type of things are on a desk, not usually the floor. I get the futon, but like he couldn't afford. I get maybe he probably couldn't afford to buy this stuff. So, so she's there. Of course, she takes off her clothes, but she's wearing some suit. Of course, he'll be under, but don't worry, some suit's perfectly fine. And then he takes his measurements. He's nervous the whole time. Well, first he takes his measurement of her head. Then he measures her shoulders, her length of her arms, the width of her bicep, her thigh, the length of her legs. He gets nervous about the feet because he's sitting on his supposedly dirty futon. He also takes measures for her waist. He does also make a fit basically when he measures her chest, which of course basically if she does it, she has to bend over to do it. He does it, and then she does basically another one, which is more like a cross, and well, and of course give him games for reference of how to design the costume. Give him basically the first 2 games. By the way, his grandpa went out for a day to buy a new sewing machine. Of course, he makes dinner, of course, and he just taking notes. It's like, interesting. Maybe he might have some friends. I gotta say, I actually do like this anime so far. I mean, yeah, of course, he's obviously nervous, but... And plus, I heard on a Twitch stream of Amanda Lee that her mom watches this show. Yes, believe it or not my review series, no. Her mom watches My Dress Up Darling. I heard that, I'm like, ooh, I've got to check it out. If in fact, the one I heard voice actors' moms is checking it out. And so far, I like it. I don't mind. I've never had a problem with cosplay at all. I just never delved into that per se. For one thing, it costs a lot of money to make all these costumes, and plus, this one, I personally love anime, but I would not know what they dress up as. That's the thing. It takes time and money to make these costumes, so when I go to any comic book convention, I go wear an anime themed t-shirt. That's me. By the way, the shirt I'm wearing, I bought this with my own money. Yep. So, not much to say. The topic is really good, so that's pretty much it for today's video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is more of this. Okay, thanks, Phil. Bye.